thank you all, actually. I'm really thrilled to be here. For those who may not have been at the earlier session, I'm Polly Donaldson, Director of the Department of Housing and Community Development. Some people have asked, well, how did you get to your position? You were running a nonprofit housing development organization, and so how did you, how did this happen? Why are you in government after 30 years in the nonprofit sector? And I said, well, there's a very important reason. The organization, of which there are several board members, former board members who are here in the audience, know very well, we were based in Ward 4. And so together with the time that then Council Member Bowser was representing and watching and seeing that ward evolve and change and seeing what organizations such as THC, Transitional Housing Corporation, could do by gathering resources from government, from the private sector, and all to transform neighborhoods, to transform dilapidated buildings, to do mixed income projects. And I know that one of the reasons for her passion on affordable housing is by what she was able to see and do in Ward 4. So it is my pleasure now to be able to introduce to you the woman who I am very proud to be working for, honored to be working for, helping to achieve her vision for affordable housing here in the district, the Honorable Muriel Bowser, Mayor.
Well, good morning, everybody. Me and Polly have to stop meeting like this. Just yesterday, we were together with David and some others in the room talking about preserving over 700 units of housing in Washington, D.C. And I'm thrilled to see you all here and interested in how you can be a part of it's really a movement in our administration, a real focus on getting the best minds together to talk about creating and preserving affordable housing. Part of my charge at the very beginning was to hire a dynamic leader from the outside who has been in the development world and building affordable housing and building quality affordable housing that when neighbors see it, they love it. When potential renters or buyers see it, they want to stand in line for it. And Polly is a woman who knows all of our housing agencies inside out. And I was thrilled that she agreed to join the Bowser administration. I made a lot of promises about affordable housing, and I mean to tell you, I intend to keep every one of them, but I won't be able to do it alone. Part of what we heard from the development community is that it's imperative that the development community understand from year to year what the government is going to be able to do. How will we help subsidize? What will the regulations be? What type of environment will you have to work in for affordable housing? And so some years ago, we think we put in place a very significant and effective tool in the Housing Production Trust Fund. We fund our Housing Production Trust Fund. So the improvement that we wanted to make was when there is a gap, and there is. This year, our Housing Production Trust Fund raised about $55 million from deed and recordation taxes. In past years, it's been higher. In other years, it's been lower. And so what was important is that we be able to send the signal, and I'll be able to do it with council members like Anita Bonds, and it's great to see you here, Council Member Bonds, is that if we could tell the community from year to year there's going to be $100 million that the city is willing to put in to get these projects done, then you can plan accordingly. And so I'm very pleased this year that our team worked real hard to find and close that gap of about $45 million. So our Housing Production Trust Fund will have $100 million of investment in affordable housing. So with this funding, that's a good thing, good news. The district will be able to preserve and expand our affordable housing opportunities. We think we will be able to serve an additional 500 families in need of affordable housing. We'll be able to protect 1,700 affordable housing units and produce over 500 new affordable units. And we are indeed focused on our creation and production efforts, but I should also say that we'll have a tremendous focus on the units of affordable housing that we already have. All over the District of Columbia, in all 8 wards of the District of Columbia, there is great affordable housing stock. But we know it doesn't stay great if we don't invest in it. So we are looking for ways to make sure we can keep those units affordable and incent their owners to continue to invest in those units. So Polly is going to lead what we call the Affordable Housing Preservation Strike Force. We know, in fact, that we have a couple thousand vulnerable units that are now receiving tax credits that might expire in the coming years. We know, for example, that we have 8,000 public housing units that are in various stages of needing repair. And we know that we have significant populations of seniors who actually live in their own homes, in a single family housing that's affordable to them right now. And if they are to be able to stay in it, keep it affordable and age in place, they're going to need some investments too. So we've asked people from our finance community, people who built affordable housing, and people who have been providing affordable housing in our city for years and years to participate in that strike force with us. Now, if you know anything about me, people will tell you she hates task forces, and she does. But we know that we've put this group together to have a defined period of time to do some work and to make recommendations around what we need to get done. So my job as mayor is to continue to lead the great growth of this city, and it is remarkable, and a lot of people have been a part of it. It's also my job to make sure that more people can participate in that in the prosperity that's really growing in Washington. And having been in every neighborhood and every ward over the course of 2 years, talking about what people's hopes and dreams are for the city, the biggest anxiety that they had was housing affordability. So anytime we know that we have 50% of our households that experience some housing insecurity, we know that we have a lot of work to do. I also know that Polly's group, the Housing and Community Development Department, is part of our greater economic development cluster. I've always believed that housing production is indeed economic development, and I never separate them in my mind. I had the privilege of, when I served as a member of council, of chairing the Economic Development Committee. Well, we had an Economic Development Committee. Maybe we'll get one again soon. Right, Anita? This inside talk, inside government talk. But when I chaired the committee, it was both our focus to make sure all of the economic development agencies were on the same page and moving in the right direction. Because I know when you are building affordable housing, you also interact with the Zoning Commission, right? And I'm glad to see my nominee for the Zoning Commission, David Franco, who is here. You are also going to maybe deal with the Board of Zoning Adjustment. You are going to deal probably with the Housing Finance Agency. I see Maria here. You're going to deal with DDOT, maybe. You're going to deal with DC Water and PEPCO, maybe even the Public Service Commission. So all of these agencies really have to be going and pushing on the same message. one change that we made was to include DDOT and the Department of the Environment in the Economic Development Cluster, so that the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development is making sure that all of those agencies are working together and not at cross purposes toward our affordable housing goals. And I am very pleased with the leadership of Brian Kenner in making sure that we move that forward. Another change that we made was around district-owned property. And we will put out property for bid when we determine that the district no longer uses it. And in some cases, the government has gotten ahead of the community, and our economic development goals could not be met because we couldn't get the community support. So part of our process is called the Our RFP. And the Our RFP, our first Our RFP project is going to be at Parcel 42. Many of you will know Parcel 42 because it's been discussed many times. It's in Shaw. And this time we want to get it right. So the idea is to put the community input way up front before the RFP is issued and button it up. And when we button up the community input process, you'll have the full force of the government behind you. You'll have, we're hopeful, the political leadership on the council side behind you, because everybody would have had input. You would have fully understood the parameters that the government is working within to dispose of the property. So our RFP we're very excited to be moving forward with that in our Parcel 42 solicitation. I will also say about that we changed the law last year, and I was pleased to work with my then colleagues on the City Council to increase our affordability goals. Now, part of our job is to listen, and so when we've tried things that haven't worked, we have to make them better and tweak them. So we've heard you loud and clear that there's some things that need to change around our inclusionary zoning laws. I know that Polly and the Zoning Commission, and I should have mentioned Fred Hill, who is here, who's my nominee for the Board of Zoning Adjustment, and thank you for being here, Fred. And we know we have to get that right, and we have some work to do. But we've also increased the requirements for affordable housing on district-owned land for 20% in non-metro station areas and 30% in metro station areas. And that is a very good thing because this district-owned land is land that we should use to help us achieve our economic development goals and our affordable housing goals. But it'll also be a test of wills, and that'll be the test of the political will, because it's not free, is it? And so if we want to incent the creation of affordable housing, not just in Ward 7 and 8, but in Ward 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, and 7. And so I am willing to do that, and I'm going to work with my colleagues on the council to make sure that we demonstrate the political will that we've been talking about when it comes to affordable housing. So we need your help. I want to thank all of my friends at Bisnow. I don't see Mark Bisnow here, but I want to say thank you for the invitation. Thank you. And I want to continue to sing the praises of our team, but also ask you to reach out to them, to challenge them, to give them your ideas, and always let me know what more we can do to move our city forward. Have a great day.
Big round of applause for Madam Mayor Muriel Bowser. Mayor, we love having you.